The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the August 22nd, the fantastic Friday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. And let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 8 o'clock in the morning. That's right. If you are listening live at 11:07, thanks so much for doing that. We're going to make today's show as pertinent as we can. Of course, you know that, Powell will have already given his speech at that stage here, but we're going to go see if there's any tells inside the market. But, of course, if you are listening live, I'd love to hear from you. So you can send me an email. Send it out to Steve at TFNN.com. Inside that subject heading, please put radio show question. And, of course, if you're listening live inside the Tigers Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Fabulous Friday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. So we begin our day with U.S. equity futures trading to the upside. The S&P or ES Minis trading up 13.5 points. NASDAQ 100 NQ 37 points, the Dow 138 points upside, and the Russell's up 11. If we take a look at what transpired over in Asia last night, all markets closing up. You had the Shanghai, which was up 1.5%, 57 points. Hang Seng 234 points, 1%. And the Nikkei up 23 points, basically flat out there. Over in Europe this morning, we've got a mixed bag. You got the FTSE that's up 3. The DAX that is off 6 points. In the metals complex, we got gold down 12. Silver's off 20. Copper's basically flat out there. Lights Recruit is up 11 pennies. We've got the 30-year Treasury printed out at 114.07. That's up 5 ticks. And the 10-year note 111.19 out there. U.S. dollar index is up 6. So one of the cool things about doing the early show and take a look at the futures contract is that we can start our day, which I'm going to, by taking a look at some different charts than we normally do at 11 o'clock. So I'm going to move over to one of my other screens here. Hopefully I remember. The heck? Hopefully I remember, that just stopped it, okay, to go back and forth here. Al will keep a close eye on me. Now we're looking at my white background screen, and we're showing what took place internationally. So when we take a look at the Shanghai, I'm going to open this up here. Take a look at this thing. There is no top in place whatsoever. I mean, this thing had a Rhodes momentum indicator signal. It blew through that today. That's telling us the price is moving higher with a higher RSI out there. Now, this is the daily time frame, just out of curiosity. Now, the oscillator and change line is not going to change out here. It's going to remain to the daily time frame, so don't pay attention to that. I'm just moving over to the weekly time frame chart just to see what we have here. We've got no topping signal on that. If I just change this over real quickly here to the monthly time frame, we do have some listeners that pay attention to the Chinese markets out here. So we're taking a look at what the monthly chart here for the Shanghai is going to signal to us. And again, so what the monthly chart is doing is if it closes above the February 2021 high, and that's at 39.1192, we're at 40.10 right now, you'll negate a TD9 count top. I wouldn't say that would create an A to B equals CD pattern. It looks like this has been more of a sideways consolidation than anything else. But what this would really tell us is that price wants to make a run for its high from back in June of 2015 out there. So the Shanghai giving us a signal on a monthly time, really monthly, daily, weekly, that this thing wants to continue to move higher out there. I won't worry about changing this back to my daily time frame. We'll just simply go on to the next. Now, if we take a look at the Hang Seng out here, Hang Seng has a Rhodes momentum indicator top and is rallying towards its oscillator and change line. So I wouldn't be surprised on Sunday evening to see price get up towards that 25,381 level. If it does close above that come Sunday, Monday, that's going to suggest that it will rally back towards its recent highs back in August the 14th. The Nikkei's got a TD9 count top, price below its oscillator and change line, no bottom signal, no reason for this not to continue to move lower, and it could be moving all the way back down to the 40,668 level. That's that TD9 count breakout area. FTSE here, you can see, had a consolidation pattern. It broke out of that consolidation pattern. All we have to do is move that consolidation pattern because that gives a measured move equal to or greater than the consolidation. As you can see, the FTSE has basically gotten up to that level or is very close to it. We're in bar number 8 of a TD9 count. That says that the FTSE could top between today and Tuesday. A bearish reversal candle would confirm a Rhodes momentum indicator top. In the case of the DAX out here, the DAX is struggling. It has had a couple of nice rallies the last 3 trading sessions, but it continues to struggle at its oscillator and change line at 24,312. If price were to close above that, we would see a run towards the 24,444 level. So that's what's going on with regard to the international markets and their signals out there. Because I'm doing this early here, I've got my different data feed on. That means it's easy for us to go take a look at the U.S. dollar index and actually look at the U.S. dollar itself versus just the currency pairs that make that up. For example, the euro, as you can see in the upper left-hand side, makes up 57.6% of the weighting. It has a TD9 count top with price trading below its oscillator and change line. As long as that condition remains, price could be targeting its a breakout level 115. If the euro is moving lower, the U.S. dollar index is moving higher, and with this having a 58% weighting, pretty significant. The next weighting, it comes from the Japanese yen. Now, in the case of the Japanese yen, not that I've got any, it's really been just trading in a sideways mode out here, and it looks like it's going to break through that level. And it's going to, and price is trade above its green oscillator and change line. So as long as that condition remains, price should rally. As the Japanese yen moves higher, it's getting weaker. The U.S. dollar index is getting stronger. In the case of the Great British Pound, a TD9 count top, price is below its red oscillator and change line. That's a more bearish signal than take a look at the euro. And that suggests that what the Great British Pound will do is head towards its breakout level at 1.3259 out there. If that heads lower, the U.S. dollar index head higher. So we got the 3 top currency pairs that make up 83% of the U.S. dollar index, and they're all suggesting that the U.S. dollar index should move higher. When we go to the very bottom right panel, and the U.S. Canadian dollar, the Canadian loonie is going to complete a TD9 count top today, by the way. That should result in a retracement back towards its oscillator and change line around $1.38. But when we take a look at the U.S. dollar index out here, a couple of things. Number one, it's possible that what it's really setting up is a new A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. Here was a small one, which formed a sell the D point top with that bear sash candle. But it's very possible now that that becomes the B point of an A to B equals CD pattern. Don't know whether it will or it won't, but what I can share with you is if price closes above 98.89, we're going to be inside that swing point for sure. We're already inside that, but it would increase the odds that price is going to go after that high and possibly generate A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. Right now, what you know is you've got stiff U.S. dollar resistance at that 98.89 level. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey. You've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. 8:18 in the morning. If you're listening live, thanks so much for doing that. At 8:18, if you're listening to the recorded version of today's show, we're going to try to make this as pertinent as we can. Of course, Powell will have already given his speech. The markets will have responded, if at all, that they're going to respond significantly out here. And one of the cool things about me, for me doing the early show, is because I've got, different data feeds, or I've got my e-signal system up. There's a lot of cool charts that are out here. I'm going to first do just kind of a quick market update for everyone out here. We take a look at 9 different instruments here. If we take a look at the ES Mini, what you're going to see is a number of different trend lines that I've got established here. The most important thing to realize is that price is just simply consolidating with inside its daily profile. It's between 63.45 and 64.45. If we close below profile support out there, we probably head back to this swing point from August, the August 1st low out there. So that's what I would be looking for. In the case of the Spot VIX Index, of course, as you know, we pay attention to the Spot VIX Index and its 50-day exponential moving average. The 50-day right now is printing out at 16.99. The high of the day, 16.83. The last 2 trading sessions, we have tested and rejected the 50-day exponential moving average. That gives buyers an edge out there. If we take a look at the NQ remains below the bottom of its daily profile. It's trading into its August swing point. August low so far, that is, which was on the trading day of August the 1st. We're trading inside there. So watch the high. If we are able to get out of this at 23,347.50, close above it, then we're going to make a run for the bottom of that profile, 23,454 out there. That is your resistance level inside the NQ. Here is the U.S. dollar index. This will be easier for me to actually draw that additional A to B equals CD pattern that could be forming inside the U.S. dollar. So let's go ahead and draw that in there. Because we had a nice TD9 count bottom pattern that identified that bottom. I don't think that I mentioned that to you, but certainly on August 13th, 14th, we had a nice TD9 count bottom. So if we do close above 100.06, that's a September contract that we're looking at. We're going to get up to the 101.50 level. So I'd say that is in play out there. That's the U.S. dollar index. With regard to gold and silver, we're going to take a gold and silver in more detail out there. But here what you'll see is we're really trading inside between a descending trend line and rising trend lines out here. So we just got a little wedgie pattern that's going. Price also consolidating with inside its daily profile. Presently 33.38 is support, 34.14 at resistance. Silver really doing the same thing, trading in between a rising price channel, descending price channel, making that way into that cone of silence, but also trading with inside its daily profile. It's got a buy zone between 37.63 and 37.97, resistance being at 38.64 level. Of course, that's profile resistance that I was referring to. If we take a look at light sweet crude, we've got simply price trading between rising and falling trend lines out there. Kind of interesting, right? Here in the case of light sweet crude, if it can close above the top of its daily profile at 63.94, it ought to make its way up towards the descending trend line. I'll use Sunday's price point, which would be about 66.07 out there. We'd be just above that if we were to see some type of big rally today. Natural gas has got a gigantic, it's got a number of different A to B equals CD patterns to the downside. I'm showing you the larger one. And the larger one says that natural gas should get back to the 249 level. Now, it may get below 249. As price approaches 249, should it approach 249, what we'd be looking for is a bullish reversal candle. Don't go into natural gas out there. Price is trading below the bottom of its daily profile, adding the idea that it wants to fulfill that A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. And finally, we take a look at the 30-year Treasury, again, trading between rising and falling trend lines out there, also trading with inside its bullish structure daily profile. And as long as price does remain above 114.01, it increases the odds of a move to the 114.31 level. So that's kind of a general synopsis of what's going on as of 8:22 in the morning. For a number of different future contracts out here. If we take a look at the New York Stock, if we take a look at the U.S. equities out there, I've got all of these in consolidation patterns out here. So you can see what those are. You can draw these on your charts as well. As you can see right now, the Russell 2000 is pushing into the top of that consolidation pattern out there. If we take a look at the New York Stock Exchange, it's advanced decline oscillator. That is the panel that is number 3. Here's the advanced decline line, which, by the way, the rally that we've seen in the markets is very strong. It has had substantial market breadth. We made a new all-time high in the advanced decline line on August the 13th. That was just 1 week ago, basically today, 1 week ago yesterday out there. So you've got plenty of market breadth. Now, the advanced decline oscillator measures the difference between the 19 and 39 period exponential moving average of the advanced decline line. The cool thing is that turns into an oscillator. When that oscillator is above zero or below zero, it provides us with a different message. We have been below zero for about 4 or 5 trading sessions. That tells us that sellers are the ones that have an edge out there. The problem is with regard to the spot VIX index, price still remains below that 50-day exponential moving average. That's that left-hand bottom panel out there. Again, that 50-day is at 16.99. We're trading out right now at 16.41. As long as price remains below that, that provides buyers with the edge. That creates the choppy markets out there between the New York Stock Exchange, advanced decline oscillator, and what the spot VIX index signal is sending to us. The S&P 500, as you can see, has made new all-time highs in a number of currencies. Not all of them, but a number of currencies. This is a weekly time frame chart that we're taking a look at. Last week was for the U.S. dollar. We made the new all-time high. In terms of the Japanese yen, it was 4 weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago. In terms of the Canadian loonie, it was last week. In terms of the Chinese yuan, it was last week. In terms of the Australian dollar, it may have been last week as well. I'd have to go back. So performing pretty well. The S&P pretty strong inside the major currencies. The issue with regard to the market, because when I say the market, let's say taking a look at things globally, is when we take a look at the Dow and how it is priced in the major currencies. Yes, we made a new all-time high a couple of days ago. We did it in terms of U.S. dollars, and we did it in terms of the Chinese yuan. That's it. That is not a good scene out there. What do you mean it's not a good scene? The best rallies happen when prices rallied in all major currencies. So unlike what we looked at and where major currencies or major international players, they're looking for large caps. They're looking at that Dow. They need liquidity out there. We're talking about big dollars. So this is a caution sign out here. And that caution sign says, and as we know, we are in the post-election cycle. Whether or not price is going to follow along with that, the post-election cycle says that we should have topped inside of the equity markets and that we should move lower through the middle to end of October out there. So kind of a cool chart. If we take a look at the horizontal trading ranges, diagonal trading ranges, this is the S&P 500 cash indice. You can see the yellow diagonal lines. Those are price channels. We're up against a key price channel out there. If price can close above it, we'd be looking at a move towards the 69.19 level. With regard to gold, we've got a similar type of chart. This is a monthly chart. The prior chart was a weekly chart. Here we can see prices just tinkering with that horizontal trading range level at 33.28. It is above it, and it is above that rising price channel. If price does rally further, 35.80 is the next price target. Above that, 38.32. If we take a look at the NDX 100, the NDX 100 hitting the top of a rising price channel as well as a horizontal trading range boundary line at 23.326. All of this adding to the idea that we have formed at least I say it's just a short-term top. Now, short-term top moving down into October, somebody might say that's more than just a short-term top. Nah, not really. That would be maybe a 2-month pullback. Just as an update on the DAX out here, I still believe the DAX is probably one of the better trade setups at this moment in time. To the downside, the DAX pricing its own currency. It made an all-time high way back here in March of 2025 out there. It is performing poorly out here. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the Opening Call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no cash or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Tiger Technicians Hour is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day, Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. It's 8:30 in the morning. U.S. equity futures still pointing to the upside. S&P, ES-Mini up 17 points. NASDAQ up 48. Dow 152. Russell 11 points out there. Let's dive down into the intraday charts here for the NQ. And the thing that we should note, first of all, if you take a look at most of the intraday charts here, bottoming patterns, just the NQ. You've got a nice TD9 count bottom pattern on the 5-hour time frame chart, a TD9 count bottom on the 4-hour time frame chart, Rhodes momentum indicator on the 2-hour time frame chart. You've got a new TD9 count bottom on the 60-minute time frame chart. Wave number 7 on the 30-minute chart out here. Now, on the 30-minute chart, you're watching this TD9 count top that went ahead and completed just a minute ago. So you've got a TD9 count top that's in place. Price trading with inside that profile. If price was able to close above that TD9 count high at 23,280.75, we likely see a further move higher. Now, it makes sense to me, and I think we've probably rallied that the rally is over at this point in time until Chair Powell comes on to speak. If we take a look at the 2-hour time frame chart, price is up at the top of its profile. That's resistance. If you look at the 5-hour time frame chart, price is running into that oscillator and change line. That is significant resistance. Now, we did close above, and we are trading above the 4-hour oscillator and change line. So that's a positive. And if we can get the last leg to fall, that's the 5-hour chart. That means a close above 22,274 out there. We likely will rally further. Now, the levels that you'd be watching for, the most important levels, I believe today, should we rally, would be up to the 23,384, 23,435 level. That's the bullish structured profile of that 5-hour chart. If price closes above 23,435, this is more than a counter trend move for its time, for that specific time frame out there, and that would then suggest a move to 23,586. So we've talked about the price moving higher, what it needs to do. What about price moving lower? Well, I'd also come back to the 5-hour time frame chart. I'm just simply going to put this one up here because this one just shows us our TD9 count breakout lines. Those are the red ones, and a TD9 count breakdown lines. It is the breakout lines that are most important. We come all the way back into the early mid-April, end of April time period, April 20th or so, and what we can see is that we have not seen price really break through one of these breakout levels. Yes, back here on the trading day of about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That was on May the 23rd out there. We closed below it for just a few hours, and then we got back above that level. So to the downside, if price were to move to the downside with regard to Powell's comments, the level you're watching is 22,835.50. If price were to close below that, that's signaling to you and I that this pattern here, that this trend pattern has changed and something else is going on. So a close below 22,835, what would that signal to us? Well, actually, what it would signal to us is the remaining TD9 count breakout levels. For example, the 22,600 area basically has two TD9 count breakout levels, 22,388. Then you also have to be cognizant, well, you can't be cognizant of anything other than the daily TD9 count breakout area. So that would also be another downside level to be watching and viewing. That's at the 22,803 level. If we get a close below that, then there's trouble in River City. And the only trouble really is that what we just kind of took a look at during this last 30 minutes out here is that we could be following along that presidential cycle that has us moving lower for about 2 months out there. And no big deal with regard to moving lower for a couple months. In fact, that's kind of normal. All right, let's take this chart here. Let's go put up gold. We got the December contract. It's going to take a couple more moments here to populate, just simply because I have that my black background chart, my e-signal system still working, so that's sucking up some of the resource. But this will populate quick enough. This is for GPM. Now, remember, we took a look at the sideways consolidation. I think we looked at the sideways consolidation that's going on inside of Goldilocks. So large consolidation. But what you're interested in, or what you were interested in GPM, was intraday. So on an intraday basis, a 10-minute time frame chart is going to, looks like it may negate a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom pattern. It will do that in the next 4 minutes with a close below below 33.66. You still see another Rhodes momentum indicator signal that's present. That would need a new bullish reversal candle. In the case of the 15-minute time frame chart, we're trading below profile support. It's red oscillator and change line. Needs a bullish reversal candle there. In the case of the 30-minute time frame chart, we are... What do we have? I have us in wave number 7. It just hasn't switched over, but I'll get that here to do that here momentarily. I won't do it because of the way that I've got a setting in there. So that needs a bullish reversal candle as well for Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. A close at 9 a.m. as we come off the air. A close below 33.6720 will negate the 60-minute TD9 count bottom pattern, and that would suggest a move back to 33.5590. That's its TD9 count breakout area. The only thing that could save it would be the 120-minute time frame chart. Now, this bar is going to complete at 10. That could be bar number 8. That says you could get a TD9 count bottom pattern between 10. So it'll be interesting what Powell says. Between 10 and 12. Between 10, that'll be bar number 8. 10 and 2 o'clock, quite frankly, on that one. The 4-hour time frame chart, you've got support at 33.57. We're trading below profile support at this moment in time, really testing it on the 5-hour chart. So GPM, you were looking for the intraday messages out there. I hope that this chart, I hope you grab a snapshot of this chart out there, and you can pay attention to those intraday, lower intraday time periods. Right now, I'd say the big one to be watching is going to be that 60-minute TD9 count bottom pattern. Does price at 9 o'clock, close below 33.6720. Shadow inside the Tigers Den wanted to look at silver. Now, I don't know for what time period you were looking at, but I'm going to go ahead and put the silver charts up here from an intraday standpoint as well. On a daily time frame, what we can see on silver, September contract, price is trading above profile resistance. That's a bullish thing, 37.63, but it's trading below its oscillator and change line. Not that that's a bearish condition, but that is resistance. So we're trading between, in essence, two resistance levels, but that first one, the top of the profile, is really support. So you're trading between the support at 37.63 and resistance at 38.24. The 5-hour time frame chart, no topping pattern or anything along those lines. Price testing its oscillator and change line. No topping pattern on the 4-hour chart, just simply consolidating with inside its profile. 2-hour chart is in bar number 6, so it wouldn't be till the end of the day when that pattern could potentially, it's got to still get bar number 7, 8, 9. Then probably Sunday before that. 60-minute time frame chart, no bottom. Price trading below profile support. It's trading into its swing point. If price is tested and rejected it so far, but he's still got 20 minutes left in the trading session. If it's able to close inside 37.75, will be inside that swing point and suggest a run for 37.52. No bottoming signals at all on high-ho silver out there. So I would have to say that silver's headed back towards that 37.63 level. That's that top of that daily profile. So Shadow, I hope that gave you the information that you were looking for as well. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We're taking a look at ticker symbol GLXY. This is a Galaxy Digital. This is for Nitram inside the Tiger's Den. Now, Nitram, this formed a nice TD9 count top. It does that on the daily time frame. That is on July 24th. And now we are below profile support for more than 2 consecutive sessions. It looks to me like what this instrument wants to do is make a run for the 2036 level. It's TD9 count breakout area. Now, there's also maybe an A to B equals CD pattern on the downside. The B point would be the low of August 5th. 12 million shares were traded. 2 days ago, we were about almost 12 million, 11.8. So a little bit light on the volume, but I would say price likely targeting 2036. Unfortunately, Galaxy Digital has only been trading for 4 months, so we don't have enough data to do an interpretation of this stock chart on anything other than the daily time frame out there. So Nitram, hope that helped you out with regard to Galaxy. You also wanted to take a look at ticker symbol LAES. Let's get that up on our screen out here. See if that provides us with a little bit more information. LAES is Seal Swear Corp. And what this needs is a bullish reversal candle for its daily time frame to form a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. Price remains below profile support at 272 and its oscillator and change line at 266. As long as those 2 conditions remain, Nitram, the daily time frame suggests lower price until you get a bullish reversal candle that would then confirm a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. The weekly chart is on board with the idea of moving lower because it's trading below profile support as well. Only bar number 7, you could end up getting a TD9 count bottom pattern on the weekly time frame between next week and the 2 weeks after that. So quite a ways to go. And the monthly time frame chart says that it's trading inside its buy zone. The buy zone is between 243 and 250. If you close below 243, you're definitely headed lower out there. I would say 243 is where you're headed to. Let's see, what has the low of the month so far been? Have we already been down there once? 244. Yeah, I think we're going to re-explore that 243 level again. And if you break through that, you're headed lower. Again, the daily time frame chart needs a bullish reversal candle to confirm a bottom out there. Dan wants to take a look at ARWR. So let's pull up its charts. ARWR is trading out right now at, come on, folks. It is trading out at, closed, I should say, at, what is trading at right now? It closed at 2075 out there. That was was yesterday, and this is Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals. Now, it closed, let's see, the top of its profile, Dan, daily time frame, 2075. We closed right on it. I don't know what it's doing in the pre-market out there. I'm not going to go take a look, but you've run right up into resistance. Now, if you can close above that, that would be a bullish outcome. Things are relatively bullish right now on its daily time frame, with the exception that you've traded up into resistance. Can it crack through that area? I don't know. But if you do get a close above 2075, you're off to the races to the upside. Where would those races take us to? The answer, 2080 pre-market. Perfect. The answer to that question, Dan, is 2424. We have a confirmed weekly A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. The B point on ARWR, Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals, was the trading week of July 25th, and the volume there was 8 million shares. Last week, we passed that with 17 million shares. The one-to-one price objective is 2424. I would say this looks like less than a 0.618 retracement on that B to C leg. The way we've come off of that C point, which is explosive with price on the left-hand side of that C to D leg, Dan, that says we do more than a one-to-one. I would say that what ARWR is headed to is that 2665 level. That's its weekly TD9 count breakdown resistance area. That has been tested. That was tested twice. That's going to be your strong resistance area. Before we can get to 2665, though, we need to deal with the monthly profile. And the monthly profile's got resistance at 2285. So I believe we're going to move up to the 2285. No reason for us to not do that quickly if we close above 2075 today and on Monday. And if price can get back inside that profile, what we should see is a run towards 2721. Now, I gave you that price figure of 2665, and that's a resistance, strong resistance. 2721 could also be strong resistance out there. That is where a counter trend move would come to an end, between 2285 and 2721. I'm not saying that's what's happening right now, because right now we've got a confirmed move to the upside out there, especially if we can take out the top of that daily profile. But you're going to watch 2285, and then you're going to watch prices while it's trying to make its way to the 2721 level out there. So hope that helped you out, Dan. We've got a request to take a look at Platinum via PPLT. Let's get that up on our screen out here. This is for Mike. I think that's Mike in Ormond Beach. Maybe I got the wrong Mike, but you're long for much lower, looking to add to your position. So this is really trading below its TD9 count breakout level, which it hit 3 days ago for its daily time frame. So open this up just a tad more. So you can see price got back there. It's really what has been trading with inside its profile. That could have been a entry point for you to add to your position. Price on yesterday closed out at its green oscillator and change line. It's got a TD9 count top. The high of that top is 123.86. The oscillator and change line is 123.87. Let's face it, a close above 123.86 is going to suggest that you head higher. Higher to where? That higher price to where is 130.98, the TD9 count breakdown resistance level coming from the daily time frame. The weekly time frame still has a TD9 count top. But did it bottom? It may have, in fact, bottomed. And the reason why we say that is because price has pulled back for 4 weeks, continues to test and reject its oscillator and change line, which is green. That's a bullish signal. Bottom line is, though, you still have a consolidation on the weekly time frame between profile support at 114.07 and a sell zone between 126.40, 131.33. So as your pilot, I'm going to suggest if we get a close above that TD9 count on the daily time frame, put those seatbelts on. It could get a little bumpy between the ride of 126.40 and 131.33. Monthly chart for PPLT looks muy bueno out there. So no problems on the monthly. Daily may not be giving you problems after day's trading, and the weekly may have found support after a TD9 count top out there. So hope that gave the information that you were looking for. And thanks for your request out there. So I don't have anything else in the queue. With a minute to go before commercial break, let me just check. No, nothing coming in on the on the email line. So what do we want to take a look at out here? Let's come back and let's throw up the black background charts. What did we get to? Gold priced in major currencies. So we take a gold priced in major currencies. You can see in terms of U.S. dollar, we've got a little rising trend line that price is moving into. In euros, we've got that same rising trend line. I don't have that in the yen. Let me just make sure I've got that tool turned on. I'm pretty sure that I do, but I'm just going to double check on that with regard to the yen out here. And no, I do, so I don't have a trend line established there. Canadian, Great British Pound, price pulling back and finding support at a trend line. This is gold. This is how gold is trading in those currencies. Same thing with the Canadian loonie. Don't have a trend line established on the Swedish krona. Swiss francs we do. Price holding support. Chinese yuan holding support. So this is not a bad set of charts here for you to also take a grab on, because you're going to see, after Powell's announcement, how's gold trading? How's it trading these currencies out there? If we start breaking those rising trend lines, well, you know what that's telling you. That'd be telling you about lower price. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks so much for listening. If you're listening live, we recorded the show between 8 and 9. Thanks for doing that. Tried to make it as pertinent as we could for you for the 11 a.m. show. We're looking here at the ticker symbol GEVO. This is definitely setting up for a trade out here. This thing negated a TD9 count top and with major volume. And I'm referring to the trading day of August the 12th. It moves higher with 82 million shares. It has been pulling back with lighter volume. As an example, yesterday's volume, 3 million shares. Now we are inside the gap, so to speak, or at least we're testing the top of the gap. The top of the gap would be the low from the trading session of August 12th. And that's at $1.61. Now there's no topping pattern. Price just simply been trading with inside its profile, and yesterday got back basically to the bottom of that profile at $1.53 at $1.54. We got the bottom of that profile is $1.53. Dan in the den says, hey, if this gets above $1.64, that would be that green oscillator change line, which is $1.63. That this ought to rally. It ought to rally, and if it does, it's going to have resistance at $1.84 that it takes on, and then 205. The weekly time frame chart looks like we're going to get a second close above 149. That's the top of its weekly profile. That's a bullish outcome out there. So, look, this is either going to pull back and fill the gap. If it does, man, that could be a beautiful trade. That's at getting all the way back down to the $1.26 level. I don't see that in the cards as we speak right now. Let's finish out the show by taking a look at the ES Mini, see what's going on intraday out here. So in the case of the ES Mini, I'd really be focused on the NQ, but in the case of the ES Mini, if you take a look at its 5-hour chart as well, we gave this to you on the NQ, you can see how prices rallied right up into that oscillator and change line. Currently printed at 64.06. Let's call it 64.10 on a rally. If price closes above that, number one, it's going to change the character of the 5-hour time frame chart of the market. That's certainly going to suggest a move up to the 64.23. To the downside for the ES Mini, if it doesn't like what Powell says, you're watching the bottom of support, and that's at 63.31. Folks, have a fabulous Friday, a wonderful weekend. Thanks for joining me. I'll look forward to seeing you again on Marvelous Monday. Take care and be safe out there.